Hello fellow fraggers, my name is Frag himself, and this is going to be the third part of my new 2022 FragProShooter tier list miniseries, in which me and Space Unicorn will be ranking all of the characters in FragProShooter going into 2022. In this video, we're going to be ranking all of the high tier characters. So these are all of the best characters in FragProShooter except the top 10. These characters will be ranked in the last video of this miniseries. With that said, if this is the first one that you watch, I'd encourage you to go ahead, click the link here to go back to the first part of this miniseries where we explain how, where we rank all of the low tier characters, and we also explain how the whole tier list system is gonna work. Of course, like the video and subscribe if you end up finding this useful. And with all that said, let's get right into it. Alright, we're gonna start with the video with the newest card, which is CyberAgent. Honestly, I don't know about you, Space, but I don't think I've played him enough to have a formal opinion of him. I think he's gonna be S+, but I don't want to rank him too fast, but I don't know what you think.
I think he's going to be S, high S, low S+. I've been messing with him now for a little while. He's good. I'm just not sure how good yet. As people master him, he could very well fluctuate up.
Yeah. Right, so I'll put him in S+ for now, but keep in mind, guys, it's very early on. It's only been a week since he's out. So, yeah, keep that in mind. We'll let the meta settle, and then we're gonna probably maybe go in the comments, and probably I might do a pinned comments and sort of keep you guys up to date about the changes in this category, because obviously all of the cards we're gonna talk about today, S+, S tier, are most likely gonna be the cards that most players play. I think it's important to take more time to talk about them in specific.
Oh, let's do Striker. I like Striker.
Oh yeah, I do too. I've actually started playing him a little bit recently, not too much. I think he's not S+, but I think he's S. And the only problem I have with him is that people don't play him enough. Because once you do master him, yeah, he can definitely do some work.
Yeah, Striker is extremely underrated by most players. Now, granted, he does have a little bit of a bug where the aim assist will cause you to miss your home run swings, but you can really manipulate the map with Striker.
Yeah, and honestly, recently, that bug has not bugged me. No pun intended. It's not that bad, I don't think.
Yeah, mine popped back up this week, unfortunately.
Okay, that's weird. If you've never played him or never really gave him a shot, I'd definitely recommend you do. He is really great at getting rid of really tanky cards, which is what we've been getting in the meta recently. It's hard, I'm not saying it's easy, but he can take out an AO, a Jaeger. It's doable, you just need to use your ult well and, kick him off the map.
Yep, agreed.
And we can go with our next one, Andro meta, which is always a good standard for what is a good card. So I know you like her, so I'll let you talk about Andro a little bit.
Andro is a good card. Andro is kind of, if I were to be honest, I think all cards should be based off of Andro. She does everything well, but she's not broken. She's able to die like every other card, but she delivers the damage well. Her ultimate ability is good. That's just a good card. Andro's a very good card.
Yep, yeah. I mean, not much to say about Andro. She's just pretty much good at everything, but not great at everything, or not overpowered at everything.
Yep.
So, I mean, I would put her at an S tier. Alright, we can talk. Okay, this next one is interesting. It's Avalanche. Avalanche is a very unique card in the way that his. A lot of people have used him and use him. And he's a very unique card to play. I like when people use him because he's sort of a card that you want in your deck just to use the ult and switch back. Sort of like a Big Paku or Cyber Cop, but he's actually pretty decent. You can one-shot card, crazy range, and I think that's enough to make it a high S tier, actually.
Interesting. I don't think he's an S tier. I think he's a high A. I've played some good Avalanches, and I understand where he's at. I think that if you strip the character down, without the frag powers, he's not getting an S tier. And with frag powers being
that makes sense.
So tricky to get for most players, I just can't move him into the S tier.
Okay. I'd probably agree with that. If you don't have his frag power, It's much harder to play him, but I think you can still make him work, like, because if you have him in your deck, like, it's very easy to switch to him, and you can essentially like one shot a card, because it's pretty easy to throw your ult at someone, trap him, and they're gonna be stuck in there, take a lot of damage. So honestly, I think he's still S tier, but maybe low S tier, and maybe a little higher if you have his frag power. Dr. Crow. We're gonna go with Dr. Crow now. Dr. Crow is also probably something like low S tier. He's so fun though.
Yeah, Dr. Crow's low S. People don't know how to play him well.
Alright. Well, S tier, I'd say
S tier's a good rank.
Dr. Crow, you need to be able to heal while moving, which is probably your key tip and trick for new players. When you're not attacking, grab your heal, switch back to your heal, aim at the ground, and just start firing. And it's gonna be so hard for your enemy to actually hit you and kill you, because you're just constantly healing. So it's a very fun card to sort of troll also enemies with. I like it a lot, but is it S plus? Definitely not. It's an S tier.
Cipher boy. Oh, Cipher. Cipher's an S tier character, and if you don't know why, you don't play Frag. Cipher is a very solid all-around card, but the disruption that his ultimate ability causes is irreplaceable. It is really effective to get a good timed Cipher ult against any opponent. That being combined with once you hit people with it, they die pretty easily. His damage is there, his ult's there. It's a good card.
Yeah, very, very much. And I'd probably emphasize that Cipher is a great AI card if you want to put a card in your deck that's you don't have to play necessarily for him to do some work to be helpful in your team. Cipher is probably your guy, along with two others that I think should be mentioned here. So we're gonna have Ronin and Lucha. You know, two very standard good AI cards. They've been good for like as long as they've been in the game, right?
Lucha's kind of the meta king. He never leaves meta, and Ronin is a very solid AI card as well.
Yeah, so these are cards you can place in your deck and leave them alone. They're gonna help you out. Well, I mean, not totally leave them alone, because they might do nothing. You want to use your attack commands on them. Would you agree that something S tier for these three cards?
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yep, that would make sense.
We can talk about Hannibal, which is also pretty similar. I'd say he's a worse lucha a little bit. His damage is not as high, but I mean, I'd say also S tier.
Hannibal is definitely a worse lucha. He's good in the right situations, but whereas lucha is good in almost all lineups, Hannibal has to be built around. So I would agree.
I like also to combine them. If I'm going for something like a Sombrero team, I prefer Hannibal, because usually he's gonna get a little bit more kills. He's more of a frag-centered AI card, whereas Lucha is more or less bunker damage, I'd say. So that's the only difference I see between them. All right, so we're gonna go with maybe something. Yeah, we can go with Lollipop here. Lollipop's been recently buffed, and her buff is kind of it's hardly noticeable, I'd say, if you haven't played her before. Because she does more damage, and her main fire is also like so much easier to hit, which I'm sort of not that much of a fan about.
I actually don't think she needed the homing either, but she is definitely in a S tier spot right now. If you get good,
I'd actually say S plus.
You could definitely make a case for S plus with Lollipop, 100%.
Yep, because man, like she's got insane mobility. Her splash damage makes it very easy for you to hit your opponents, get rid of your opponents. And you can even use your ultimate ability to send enemies flying off the map. It's not that easy. It's not that hard either. You sort of just it's a good way to get rid of tanky AI cards, let's say. Oh, all right. Next, we're gonna talk about the character that I have very openly disliked for a long time, which is Zap Girl. And honestly, I think she's still okay. She used to be like very, very strong, but something like S tier, probably where she's at now.
I would put her in S plus. I think Zap Girl really didn't lose that much by getting her turret's health lowered and the deployable range. She still does a lot of damage. She can change damage, and the more shots you hit in a row, it seems like it does more damage each time.
Okay, so I didn't think you'd put her in S plus. Every time I play against a Zap Girl, I don't know if it's because I've gotten used to it, but I pretty much never have that much problems. Unless it's like a level 16 Zap Girl or whatever. But I can see why she could be S+. But I think you need to be really good at positioning yourself to stay out of trouble. And if you want to be winning Zap Girl, you need to always be, because she used to be very OP as she could like throw turrets like so far and control the map. But not now. Yeah, that's it. It sort of doesn't matter as much, it's because they're easier to get rid of. But yeah, something like high S tier makes sense. Oh, interesting top card here. We're gonna have DolB. DolB is a great AI defender, and we can talk about the defensive cards a little bit in a row here. So I actually think that DolB might be the best AI defender in the game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. His ultimate ability is pesty.
Yeah, that's it. Like his AI is perfect at using the ability whenever there's someone in the bunkers, and it just stuns them. A lot of time it's gonna kill an entire push just with one ultimate ability. And even though like they try to nerf him a little bit, I still think that his AI is like fundamentally very, very good and possibly the best AI defender in the game. So that's why I actually put him in S+. He's not very good if you want to play him, but as an AI defender, you just cannot go wrong with him.
Yep, agreed.
So going on the tangent of AI cards, for defensive cards, we're gonna have Marco Pollo here. Marco is I'd say he's S, right?
Yeah, I would say he's probably S as well. Marco's ultimate ability is really why people play him. So I would put him at S.
That ult is just like, it's great to take out enemies that like are sort of fast and hard to get rid of. Like whenever I play against Estella and I have Marco, I just switch back to Marco because you can really one-shot Estella just by using the ult at the right moment. Doesn't matter if she's fast, if she's tiny, you can just like pretty much one-shot most of these tiny fast cards with Marco Pollo. So if you're having trouble with that, he's probably your way to go.
Yep.
We're gonna have Scrapper next, and Scrapper, you're probably not gonna agree with me on this, but actually I would put him in S+.
S+, interesting. I think I have him at high S. I really like Scrapper. I think Scrapper Sombrero combo on the back lines is really, really effective. So yeah, I would put him at high S, but I can see where somebody can make an S+ argument.
I think that well, it's really the only card that can do what he does, and just throwing him in your deck with the right playstyle, with you constantly remembering that you need to protect your bunkers and making sure that your opponent doesn't completely destroy your bunkers, can definitely like work really, really well with a Scrapper. So I think that's why I think he's an S+, but yeah, not top of S+, but something like this definitely makes sense for a Scrapper.
I can understand.
Character we've all had probably bad experiences with. Wave. What do you think of Wave now?
Wave is still S+. He is much more manageable than he used to be. But I still have him at S+. That ultimate ability, even since it still affects you after he dies, and it also seems to be sending the AI into a skits, where they'll ignore commands after getting hit by a wave ult. So I think I have him at low S+.
Yeah, no, I can see it. S+ makes sense. I'd still put him in something like low S+, because I don't know why his nerf wasn't that insane, but it sort of feels like he's easier to get rid of now. I don't know, it's weird. So yeah, bottom S probably makes sense. Bottom S+. We can talk about the second US card, Noot. Noot. What do you think? What would you say about Noot?
Oh man, he's S+.
Okay,
Noot is really good at being really annoying. I've been running a Noot lucha combo lately, and lucha gets the towers, and then Noot, the AI for some reason likes to freeze instead of doing tower damage right away, so the whole bunker's frozen, and as the defense rotates in to get them, they all freeze and get stuck there for like 6 seconds. Noot is so good, and he's also got lucha health. Like, there's that. Oh, yeah. That's a heck of a card right there.
He's actually so hard to get rid of, and I don't think like that his health is that much of a problem. It's just that his damage is also like in combination with his health.
100%. I've described Noot as a lucha that can defend himself. That's what it is.
True. He's definitely a very good card, and S+ makes sense. Next one we have Drippin. Drippin, I want to place him with a striker, I'd say. Maybe a little higher.
I would agree with that. Drippin and Striker are very, very close together, and a good one of each will match each other.
Yeah. So like Drippin sort of works the same way as Striker. You just like grab his wave, throw enemies off the map. Yeah, they're just gone. The problem is the main fire damage is not that much, and he's sort of easy to get rid of when you're close to him, and he doesn't have his wave. So that's his strength and weaknesses, I'd say. I know you've been playing this card, Lilli.
Lilli is so good. People just don't understand how good Lilli is. Lilli, honestly, if I'm doing a top 10 ranking on cards, Lilli's number 11. She is so good. I can't say enough. The ultimate ability is a one-shot. The damage hits for 50 and then burns for 90. She is so good. Lilli's just, man, that's a good card.
We can go boss and Queen Unicorn.
The boss is a solid card. He's not quite what he used to be because the new cards kind of replaced him. I will say Queen Unicorn, on the other hand, is the best card in the game.
So true. Number one, S++++. Yeah.
Queen Unicorn is S+, the boss is S right now.
I'd argue that Queen Unicorn's mostly used because she's at a high level. Probably, I'd say Markopu is a little better. But I know you really like Queen Unicorn, so maybe you don't like me saying this.
No, you're fine. Everyone has a right to their opinion. I prefer Queen Unicorn over Marco because of her versatility. Marco's played for his ultimate ability, where Queen Unicorn kind of fits all scenarios.
I can see it.
So that's kind of why I have her where I do.
But I'm gonna place them all in S, honestly. But I'm actually gonna place Marco and Queen at top of S tier. Boss probably bottom of S tier. Alright, next one we have Tankbot. Tankbot, I think he's gonna go with like boss at the bottom of S tier. He's more or less of an AI card. You can also use him as a main, but his main fire damage is not that great once you're at long ranges.
I would agree with that. Tankbot, still good, but not what he used to be.
So S-, well, I mean, not S-, but bottom of S tier might probably be where he is.
I think that's good.
Dunkan. Dunkan, I think, is just like, well, Lilli is probably a better Dunkan. Dunkan's a worse Lilli. Yep. Not by much, but probably bottom of S+.
I would say Dunkan's an S+. Dunkan's essentially Andro 2.0, and then Lilli's Andro 3.0. That's kind of how it breaks down.
It's like Pokemon evolution.
Yeah, pretty much. What did your Andro evolve into? It evolved into a Lilli. So yeah, bottom of S+.
Next one, Izuna. I think she's used a lot, and it's just like because her ult does way too much damage. It's kind of insane. She can one-shot so many cards. So I'd say that's why she's in S+, but probably even bottom of S+.
Yeah, I tend to agree there.
Because like very fast and very good range. She's sort of a better Poké Hunter. We're talking about evolutions. I think that Izuna is just like the evolution of Poké Hunter, but
yeah, I would agree with that.
Yep, middle of S+. We're gonna have Jab. Jab, Jab is kind of a underrated card, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say he's underrated. I'd actually put him at the bottom of S.
He's kind of a card that's got no real weaknesses once you think about it. It's just that I actually think he's better than Drippin and Striker.
You think?
Yeah,
I don't know.
because I played a lot of jabs, and it's really the matchup against, like, he can do a lot more damage than the Drippin and Striker. Maybe it's just because he's less of a high skill character than them. There's an argument there. I can see it, but it's really the high damage, high HP, and also speed, which gives him pretty much no weaknesses except for the fact that he doesn't have crazy strength either. You know.
Yep, I understand that.
Next we have Hunter.
I was gonna say Hunter's S tier. Ultimate ability is really good. Damage is consistent. That's a pretty good all around card.
Yeah, I think that as a main, you sort of have I like to think that Queen Unicorn, Andro, Jab, Hunter, even Drippin and Striker are sort of around the same place. They're really, really good, but not quite S+, and S+ is not quite top 10 either. So next we're gonna go with Sombrero.
Okay.
Sombrero, I'd say, is a S.
I would also agree with that. S.
I'd say he's the second best camp card in the game as far as AI goes. His bombs are great from map control, great bunker damage.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. It's the bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A lot of people play him, and it's really an AI card that you don't need to play, along with a lot of defensive characters in this area. So we're getting close to the top 10 here. Next is gonna be Lord VR. We're sort of taking out characters from the top 10 now, so you guys can see which characters are gonna stay in the top 10. Lord VR is a really close one, I'd say.
For me, I have him I could make a case for him being top 10, but I can also hear a case for him being S+.
Yeah. I mean, Lord VR is it's just that people don't play him enough, I'd say. Like, it's so rare that you see Lord VR online. But essentially, like, he's a card that adjusts to the meta a lot, because, 1 year ago he wasn't as good because he received the buff, but also the meta, like the main fighters that he could copy were not as good. He could only copy Andro meta pretty much, but now he can copy all of the top 10 cards that have such a better main fire, and he can copy them, do more damage. He also gets a heal buff. So it's really a great card, but I think the only reason why he's not top 10 is because he's not very consistent. Sometimes you're just gonna want to, you're gonna have him and you're gonna be stuck with his main fire because there's no other card to copy, and he's pretty useless once that happens because his damage is not great.
It's true. So whenever he gets that ult, though, that he's a problem. That damage increase, the multiplier on top of what the other card was already doing, is rough.
High S tier probably, high S+, fits well there. Yeah, 13 characters left. 3 of them are not going to be in the top 10. So I'll let you guys guess who is not going to be there. And you can pause the video if you want. Who is not in the top 10. First one is not going to be the top 10. Is going to be Takeshi. Yep. I'd say Takeshi's an S+. Would you agree?
Yeah, he's an S+ character. He's not top 10 material, but definitely S+.
He's sort of an AI card that's great because you can have him in your deck. He's very scary because he can sometimes use his ultimate ability once you get close to him and just kill you out of nowhere. But really, like, he's also a sort of card that you want in your deck just to switch to, and he's able to get rid of a lot of characters just because he can do so much damage at once. He's also very fast. So yeah, I like him for that.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Next one that's not going to be in. So the second card we're going to take out of top 10 here is going to be probably RedShadow. RedShadow used to be so OP, and his nerf was not that much. I think it was something like maybe 20% damage.
The thing that made RedShadow, that hurt RedShadow, wasn't so much his damage deduction, it was more his health off of throw ult hit. They took that away. So that's why I dropped him down.
Oh, okay. You know what? I totally forgot about that. That makes sense because that was a very big deal.
Yeah, that was so annoying.
Yep.
He would just sit there and basically heal himself because he got to keep the health. But now he was able to be managed.
And for the last, maybe for we have a little bit of a disagreement there between me and Space. We have Krystal and AO, which are going to be very, very close together. I'd say at the bottom of the top 10. And I think it makes sense to end the video with Krystal. I want to say that AO is a little bit better than Krystal, but they're totally different characters, right?
Yeah, and like I said, I lean the other way with Krystal being better than AO, but that's because we're different players, and that's a good thing to have. You want to have those characters that are interchangeable.
Yeah, because Krystal is definitely more of a high skill character, probably a more technical character. You want the headshots be very precise. AO, much more easier to play. It's a very one-dimensional character. Good range. They both have good range. AO is gonna have pretty much as good damage as Krystal, but you do need to hit your headshots with Krystal, right?
Yep. If you're good Krystal, you will outperform an AO. From your stance, AO is definitely an easier character.
So I guess that depends on you, the viewer. Do you consider yourself a very competitive player? Do you want to take your time to learn the headshot with Krystal? And if so, you might want to bump Krystal up, maybe a place or two. But if you're not, Krystal's still going to be an S plus tier. I would say maybe S. As you play her more and more, you're going to find yourself improve like a lot, because she's got a lot of room for improvement. So we're going to place her top of S plus, I think.
Yep, I'm fine with that.
So now we are left with 10 characters to rank, and that's going to be in our next video that I'm going to be putting on the channel with Space Unicorn. So we're going to be talking about the top 10 best characters overall in Frag. So we're going to go in depth talking about all these characters, their strengths and weaknesses. So I hope I see you guys there. Again, Space, thanks for being here.
Yep, absolutely.
And I'll see you guys in the next video.